Chief Master Sergeant Richard Etchberger's gallantry, self-sacrifice, and profound concern for his fellow men, even at the cost of his own life, went above and beyond the call of duty. He was posthumously awarded the Air Force Cross and the Medal of Honor. Born to Catherine and Donald Etchberger in 1933, Dick Etchberger entered the world with a smile that would be his trademark throughout his life. Etchberger was a very active youth. He loved to walk in the woods of Pennsylvania. He enjoyed all manner of water sports, whether it be in the pool or on the lake. He was captain of the high school basketball team and president of his senior class of 1951. Donald Etchberger was a strong and forthright father. Whether he was working in his five and dime store, teaching his son to drive a car, or just spending some quality time with the family, he was Richard's hero. Mr. Etchberger instilled in Dick and his older brother Bob a sense of family unity that would guide Dick into being a great dad to his own children. When he graduated from high school in 1951, his next step was clear. He had long since made the decision to join the Air Force. Upon enlisting in the Air Force in August 1951, he quickly excelled in electronics and radar bomb scoring. After serving tours of duty stateside and in Africa, the Philippines, Vietnam, and Thailand, Dick was promoted to Chief Master Sergeant in April 1967. He was well known throughout the Air Force for his expertise in electronics, radar, and computer-guided bombing. In August 1967, he volunteered for a top-secret U.S. Air Force and Central Intelligence Agency project that enabled the use of computer-assisted radar to guide bombing missions to their targets. The radar was placed in then-neutral Laos and was used to guide Air Force bombing sorties into neighboring North Vietnam. During this assignment, Chief Etchberger and his team of technicians were manning a top-secret defensive position when the base was overrun by an enemy ground force. As Chief Etchberger's entire crew lay dead or severely wounded, he single-handedly held off the enemy with an M16 while simultaneously directing airstrikes into the area and calling for air rescue. Because of his fierce defensive, heroic, and selfless actions, he denied the enemy access to his position and saved the lives of his remaining crew. When the rescue aircraft arrived, Chief Etchberger repeatedly and deliberately risked his own life, unhesitatingly exposing himself to heavy enemy fire in order to place 3 surviving comrades into the rescue slings of the airlift helicopters. Only with his entire surviving crew safely aboard did Chief Etchberger climb into an evacuation sling himself, only to be fatally wounded by enemy ground fire as he was being raised into the aircraft. Shortly after his death, Chief Master Sergeant Etchberger's wife and sons were told that he had died in a helicopter crash. The local newspaper in Hamburg, Pennsylvania reported the same, with little additional information. But the family suspected there was more to the story when in January 1969 they were invited to Washington for a private ceremony where Catherine Etchberger accepted the Air Force Cross on her husband's behalf. Though she had long known the true nature of her husband's mission, she kept silent until it was declassified in 1986. Chief Master Sergeant Etchberger had been nominated for the Medal of Honor soon after his heroic actions, but the highly classified nature of the operation prevented the award from being granted. Even long after the mission was declassified and pressure grew to honor Chief Master Sergeant Etchberger, the mission was still deemed too sensitive to be highlighted by awarding him a Medal of Honor. Finally, in 2008, Air Force Secretary Michael Donnelly approved the award. In 2010, Congress and the White House concurred. On September 21, 2010, President Barack Obama presented the Medal of Honor to the Etchberger family and hosted them in the Oval Office as a special presidential tribute to this great patriot. There is no greater love than a man who would lay down his life for a friend. Chief Master Sergeant Richard L. Etchberger loved this nation and served it with every fiber of his being. He led his men with dignity and courage, and in the face of death, laid down his life for them. In recognition of his life of selfless service to his fellow airmen, the United States Air Force, and the United States of America, Chief Master Sergeant Richard L. Etchberger is being inducted into the Air Force Cyberspace Hall of Fame.